What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxiie with Roxiie Says, and we're going to talk about it. Today, we are reviewing The Ultimatum, Season 3, the finale, and the reunion. Y'all already know I have so much to say about these two episodes. But before we get started, I just have to say thank you to all of you who have been rocking with me for the entire season, from my day ones to the new subscribers. I appreciate y'all so much. It's been such a fun season. But for those of you who have been coming back and you still haven't subscribed, today is your ultimatum day, okay? Because what are we doing? Are you still processing like JR? You don't need any more time. You've been here. We at the end of the season. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, because you know you love it here and I love having you here. So let's make it official, all right? Let's get straight into this episode. So the episode opens up and they take us back 5 hours prior to JR and Sandy meeting up, and he says that he finally has the clarity that he has always needed. They show us flashbacks of them kissing more than twice, and then when they finally get together, they discuss how much they enjoyed their experience and how vulnerable they were able to be with each other, and they know that they both gave it their all within their trial marriages. Sandy says that although they'll only leave here as friends, the way that she slid that in there, JR had no warning. She's like, yeah, by the way, you know, we only gonna leave here as friends, right? And JR really had no choice but to go along with it. But he also didn't look that surprised. He just told her that he wishes her the best and he hopes that she's making that decision for herself and not for anyone else. Nick, okay? But Sandy says that she's making the decision for her and she is fully confident in that decision. And JR says, oh, yo, well, I totally understand how much Sandy is in love with Nick, because that's how much I'm in love with Zena. Boy, you're not in love with Zena, JR. Stop it, okay? But they do hug and they wish each other the best. And that's that on that, all right? So next we see JR and he meets up with Zena. And before we see JR and Zena make their decision, she starts saying how great it was being with Scotty, and she can tell that he just wants to love on someone. Girl, no. He just wants to control someone, and he needs a supplier for that fragile ego of his. That's what he needs. But anyways, she says that she's even more in love with JR now than she was when they started this experience. Meanwhile, JR is saying that he loves Zena, but marriage is forever and he doesn't want to get divorced again. So when they finally meet up, it's really awkward, okay? And it's not a like, oh my God, I'm nervous, I love this person so much awkward. It's more of a, who is this person because we only started dating for this show type of awkward. Yeah, that's what it's giving. So they do thank each other for what they've been to each other in this experience. And they also say that they've both grown and they can finally see the value of their relationship. JR does apologize to Zena for judging her based on his past relationship, and he acknowledges that he wasn't ready to receive the love that she was trying to give to him. It was definitely nice for him to acknowledge that and to apologize. And despite telling her that she would make an amazing wife and mother, and he wants to give her everything she deserves, he says that he is not at the point in his life to do so, and the best thing for him is to leave here single. Who is surprised? Who's surprised by any of this? Not me and not you, okay? And Zena tries to tell him that he doesn't have to be perfect in order to get married, but she says that she also knows that deep down, JR was not ready to get married. So they hug, they wish each other the best, and I was honestly surprised to see JR crying so much. He was crying harder than Zena, and I was like, JR, what show are you auditioning for? What show are you auditioning for? Because with these tears, okay, and that dramatic walk away, bravo. Bravo. I hope that you get whatever role that you was auditioning for in that scene, okay? Best of luck to you. So next we see Mariah and Caleb, and I had to include a pic of Mariah in that dress. I loved it. She looked damn good, okay? Even Caleb was speechless, and he had to ask her, like, can I kiss you right now? It was really cute. So Caleb reads a letter that he wrote to Mariah as not to get his words messed up or to forget anything. And he thanks her for how much she loves him, even through the times that he didn't love himself enough. And he also says that he's no longer afraid and he sees her for the woman that she is. He tells her that he loves how she shows up for the people around her. And he promises her that if she gives him the chance, he will show up for her in that same exact way. He also promises to be the one to make sure that she always feels loved and cared for physically and emotionally. And then he asks her if she will do forever with him. And of course she says, I do. And they're both extremely happy. And I am happy for them. I really am. Like I said before, I think that these two really love each other. And my sentiments regarding that isn't really from what I saw during the season. It's really from how they talked about each other in the preseason interviews, which are in my cast reveal video, okay? Coming into this, you can just see how much they love each other. But like I said before, they just need some extra help with their communication as a couple, and they also need need to see someone about their individual issues and they'll be okay. Child, Caleb is crying and you can see that he is extremely proud of himself for being able to make that decision. Good for them. I'm super happy. Get that extra help though, okay? So now we are with Nick and Sandy, and I can't even lie when I tell y'all that I played this scene on 2x speed. I really did, okay? Sandy speaks about the confusion of him issuing an ultimatum when he didn't even treat her like he wanted to be with her before they came here. Valid point, and that's gonna come up later as well. But they both reiterate how much they love each other and how thankful that they were for this experience, as well as how much they've changed and grown from it, and how much they don't ever want to be without each other, okay? But Sandy says that she still thinks that there are some things that they need to work through. And when Nick asks her, she can't definitively answer if those issues are worth losing him over. So Nick says that he doesn't understand how she can just say all of those lovey-dovey things and still not be 100%. And he says that he deserves someone who is in fact 100% about him. Now listen, Nick, I hear you, and Sandy is not my cup of tea at all, but let's not forget that you only started giving 100% in this relationship a couple of weeks ago. Let's not forget that. So it's very rich of you to now want Sandy to be 100% in on you because you've gotten your act together for just a couple of weeks. And even his attitude in this scene annoyed me. He came off very entitled, as if he's been a great partner all throughout their relationship, and Sandy is crazy for still having doubts. She has every right to still have her doubts about this relationship. They both had their issues. I just think that Nick was feeling himself a bit too much in this scene. So he says that he hopes that they both find someone who alleviates all of their doubts on marriage, because at this point, he knows that for him, Sandy is not that person. And Sandy apologizes and she doesn't want him to leave. And he's like, stop calling me baby. I got to get out of here. Listen, I'm sorry, but as much as I don't like Sandy, I'm not about to praise Nick because he was a good guy and love bombed Sandy for 3 weeks just to get her back. Okay, we're not about to do that. Not over here. And honestly, Nick, you shouldn't even want to be marrying Sandy's lying ass anyway, okay? What y'all both need to do is go to your separate apartments, go watch some movies and eat some ice cream. Y'all will be just fine, all right? Child, now it is time for Scotty and Arya. Let me take a deep breath because I said that if, you know what? Y'all already know what happened. Y'all already know what happened. I said if this went the way that it's about to go, I was going to be pissed, baby. I was pissed during this scene. Do you hear me? I was so pissed. So anyways, they show us flashbacks of all of their trial marriages, and Scotty is claiming that he's changed or whatever. So they finally meet up and they're both wearing red, and that irritated me even more because I'm like, did y'all coordinate this? Are y'all cool? Are y'all friends? Why are y'all matching right now? I don't like it. So Scotty admits that he issued the ultimatum out of fear, and he apologizes to Arya for not giving her the reassurance in the relationship that he knows she needed and for not loving her the way that she wanted to be loved. But he says that he hopes that she's seen the love that he showed her in the trial marriage because that was an example of him really trying. And I said, yikes. That was you really trying? Oh, baby, no. Arya says that she came because she loves him and she wanted to show him that she was willing to make compromises for their relationship. And she hopes that he can also see that she's grown and that she stayed in this experience to show him how strong her love was for him. And Scotty says that he doesn't doubt her anymore and he wants to be her protector and, get this, her peace. Scotty, you done played in our face all season and now you talking about you want to be someone's peace? We gonna keep going because you're not gonna piss me off in this review, all right? Child, the way these two were crying and whispering to each other, I was shaking my head the entire time because I could already tell what it was gonna be. But I was hoping for a pleasant surprise. I really was, but nope, not at all. Scotty proposed and Arya says yes. Listen, I was so irritated during this scene. I didn't know what to say. Arya, girl. And yes, this is a review of the finale and the reunion, so we know what's going to happen during the reunion, but I'm just trying to show y'all how I was feeling during this scene, okay? I was upset, but like Arya's brother said, some lessons she just has to learn on her own, like we all do, right? Okay? It was just really sad to see, because if this is how he acts when he's trying to get her, just imagine how this man is going to act once they're married and she has his child. That was just a terrifying thought to me, okay? Child, so now it is time for the reunion. And the first thing we see is Zena hopping out the truck saying that she was fed nothing but lies by the man who claimed to love her for 3 years. Sandy says that it's not going to be fun having her, Nick, and JR on the same stage in the same room. Nick is saying that all of his concerns about Sandy and JR were proven to be valid, okay? Child, when I saw Caleb hop out that truck, I was like, hold on a second. Is that Ramses? Ramses from Love is Blind? He was wearing a thong the whole time, Ramses? If you know, you know, okay? But anyways, Arya looked absolutely gorgeous in her dress, and she says that she wants Caleb to admit to the emotional connection that they developed, and if he's not honest about it, oh, she's dropping receipts, okay? Then we see Scotty the weirdo, and he says that he still has questions or whatever. Boy, we don't care, okay? So all of the couples come out, and the first thing that I noticed was that Sandy and JR sat on the same couch. I was like, what's going on there? I don't know. But Nick and Vanessa said that they did reach out to 2 of the couples that left. One couple declined coming to the reunion, but the couple who didn't decline will be there. And I said, oh, okay, I already knew that Micah and Chanel were the ones who declined. They're like, look, we done with this, okay? Don't call us for nothing. So they start off with Mariah and Caleb, and they ask them how things have been over the past year. They're still happily engaged. They've been doing road trips and visiting family. They said that they've learned so much about each other over the past year. They love to coordinate their outfits, and they're hoping to have a destination wedding in the summer of 2026. Caleb says that he's taking accountability for his actions after the show, and he realized that he was not giving Mariah his best. And he says that they were able to have a lot of much needed conversations after the show. So Vanessa asks Caleb if he's had any contact with Arya since the show, and both Caleb and Mariah shake their head no. I thought that was so funny. Like, Mariah, she's not asking you. She's asking Caleb. But Arya said, hold up, okay? Were you not looking at my stories and liking them? And Caleb was like, yeah. And I was looking at Zena's stories too, okay? What about it? Caleb was ready for that. Caleb was ready for that, okay? And Arya claims that after all of the lurking, Caleb blocked her. And Caleb looks genuinely confused. He's like, I didn't block you. Caleb, it was probably Mariah who blocked her. It was probably Mariah. But Arya tells Caleb that he's capping and he's pretending to be happy in his relationship. Girl, how do you know that? How do you know that? You don't know if he's pretending, sis. Like, come on, Arya. She also says that during their trial marriage, Mariah was calling him every night and they'd be on the phone for 2 hours. That's not cool, Mariah, okay? That's not cool, and I 1000% believe it. So Arya says that that means that Mariah doesn't trust Caleb and they're a fake couple. And she also says that she has screenshots of him liking her posts. Okay, slow down, slow down, all right? Because Arya clearly practiced this in the mirror. She had a lot to say, a lot to get off her chest, so she got it all out. But I think that this alone shows how unhappy Arya is with Scotty, okay? Now, this is before we found out. Okay, we're going to get to it, all right? But as I was watching, I was like, wow, this really shows that Arya is very unhappy with Scotty, and she really wishes that she could have been with Caleb, because to be continuously checking your stories for your trial ex, right, your trial marriage ex, this ain't a real ex. Now, I understand when we break up with people, okay, sometimes you want to see, oh, are they checking for me like a real ex? Caleb is not a real ex. Like, y'all known each other for 3 weeks. I don't know. To me, it's a bit much. But by her doing that, I think it was evident that she was not happy with Scotty the weirdo who she had said yes to. Because to me, it seems like you're upset about the thought of what could have been with Caleb had Caleb been more honest about his feelings. And also, Arya, I'm a bit annoyed that you have all this energy for Caleb and Mariah, but not for Scotty, the one who actually deserves this energy. See, I thought that you didn't have it in you. I thought that you didn't have it in you to really like get buck with people, but clearly you do, just not for Scotty. And I don't like it, okay? But Mariah does jump in, and she also asks Caleb to be honest, because watching the season back, it's clear that Caleb downplayed the emotional connection that he shared with Arya. And even Scotty jumps in and he tells Caleb that all Mariah wanted was for Caleb to validate her feelings of them having something more than just a friendship, as Caleb describes it. And then Mariah starts going in and she tells Caleb that he lied through the trial marriage and even throughout the past year of their relationship by still calling it a friendship, as if she wouldn't be able to watch the show back for herself. Why do y'all do that? Why do y'all come on these shows and lie as if there's not footage of it? Anyways, Caleb says that he thought that if he fought off those romantic feelings, then that would mean that they didn't exist. But by watching the show back, he realizes that in addition to lying to Arya and Mariah, he was also lying to himself about his true feelings for Arya. And they were romantic feelings that he should have been more transparent about, which is true, okay? No one wants to be in a relationship with someone where they feel that they have to ask you a question 1,000 times in 1,000 different ways in order to get the truth. So I can completely understand Mariah being upset with Caleb. But as for Arya, in this particular scene, I wasn't understanding where all of this resentment was coming from. It was clear to me that the energy was coming from a different place. And now we're about to find out exactly why, okay? So when they shift to Arya and Scotty, she admits that on decision day, she made her choice out of pure emotion. I said, duh, okay? We know it was the heart because it sure as hell wasn't the head. But then she starts crying and I'm like, see, now why are you crying now? You were just all big and bad when you were talking to Mariah and Caleb. But anyways, she says that her and Scotty are no longer engaged. And I said, thank you, Lord. But now I understand why she was so upset at Caleb and Mariah. She never wanted Scotty, okay? She wants Caleb. And not only did Mariah get to keep her man, Caleb, she was also on the phone for 2 hours every night during their trial marriage. So I feel that Arya is upset that she didn't have a fair trial marriage with Caleb. And I also feel that her bringing up him liking her stories was to put a bit of a dagger in their engagement since her engagement failed, okay? She realizes that she made a mistake and she felt that things were moving a bit too fast. She says that she asked Scotty for a redo so they can start over. They moved in together and that still didn't work because their biggest issues and conflicts proceeded. Then we find out that Arya broke the engagement off the next day. So she knew that was not the right decision. And I am happy that she realized that, okay? Even though she stayed with him and moved in with him after, I'm so happy that ultimately she realized that this is not the man for her. This is what Scotty said that he wanted this entire time, right? It still didn't work out. Scotty even offered to go to couples counseling, but then Arya started to feel like she had to nag him in order to go. So he clearly offered it because he knew it sounded good, but he didn't really want to do it. And she told him that if they didn't do therapy, she was done. And maybe he thought she was bluffing, but when she realized that she had to chase him around to go to therapy, she cut it off. So Scotty says that he made a mistake by telling Arya so many things when there still was a chance that she would say no to him on decision day. And he thought that this process would show her how much he loved her. He also claims that she wanted therapy to be on her time. Sir, she asked you for a year to go to therapy. What time did you want to go? When did you want to go? 2030? 2056? What do you mean her time? And Arya says that Scotty is just giving a bunch of excuses instead of just apologizing and taking accountability. And she says that she is tired of always having to ask him to apologize. People like Scotty are never wrong though. They're never wrong, so there's no need for them to ever apologize. And I think the only time that Arya gets an apology from Scotty is when she's like this. She has to be broken down, crying and begging him to finally get an apology. Arya says that on top of all of the stress that she went through in that relationship, her grandmother, who she was extremely close to, passed away. And then on top of that, she suffered a miscarriage. And she acknowledges that she was emotionally exhausted. And I said this in my last review, Arya's body is rejecting Scotty. And it just continued the longer that they stayed together. And I am extremely sorry that she had to experience something like that and experience it with someone like Scotty. But as we can see, her body is telling her over and over and over that she is not supposed to be with that man. She is not supposed to be with him. And even through all of that, she still wants Scotty to know that she didn't give up on him. Now listen, some people fully deserve to be given up on. Some people earn that. Scotty earned that, okay? Don't feel bad about giving up on someone who treated you like shit. Don't feel bad about it. And Scotty claims that he tried to compromise and he moved when he didn't want to move. And he says that it's demoralizing when you give someone everything and it's still not good enough. But we all know that Scotty's version of giving his best and giving his all in a relationship is a bit warped, okay? We've seen it for ourselves. Honestly, Scotty, you should feel demoralized by the way that you showed your ass this entire season, okay? Even the way that he's talking now. Did you watch the season back, Scotty? Did you watch the season back? You should be embarrassed with yourself. I can't even believe that he's sitting on this stage all high and mighty. You acted a fool this season, Scotty. And then Arya admits that she only said yes because she didn't want to reject him because she knows that he has issues with rejection. And Scotty starts crying more and he says that Arya crushed his heart that day. Okay, and you broke her heart every time that you told her that you don't want to marry her. That's why I'm not marrying you. That's why I don't want to marry you. Okay, whatever, Scotty. Y'all even then. I am so happy that these two are not together, and I'm sure that Arya's nervous system is elated, all right? So now we are here with JR and Zena, and the hosts point out that they put them very far apart on opposite ends of the stage. JR says that after the ultimatum, they moved into separate places, and he needed time to process, okay? We're going to hear that word a lot. Process. He has a lot of processing to do. Meanwhile, he says Zena wanted to ignore the experience and just get back together. And he claims that Zena was upset that they didn't spend Christmas together. And Zena has to jump in and correct him because she says that they did spend Christmas together. He was like, well, you were mad that we didn't exchange gifts. And Zena was like, well, I did get you a gift and then you got me one because you felt bad. And then JR says, yeah, because we were broken up and you were having a hard time coming to that realization. And he also claims that Zena didn't want him talking to other women during this breakup. And after she lets him finish, she asks everyone if they want to know the truth or not. I said, okay, girl, well, come on with the truth if it's something else. So Zena says that although they broke up, they only lived across the street from each other and they were still on the phone all hours of the morning and they were still seeing each other. And she is listing all of these things that she did for him, for his birthday, for Thanksgiving. Zena, didn't I tell you to stop listing all the things that you did for these guys because they already know? I told you that. I told you they don't give a damn. You did it with Scotty and I told you stop doing it, okay? And what did JR say after she listed all of these things? He says, we weren't together and I didn't ask you to do any of that. And you know what? He's right. He's right. Someone will happily accept girlfriend and wife treatment from you and will be quick to remind you that you are not their wife, nor are you their girlfriend. Stop doing shit for them, okay? Stop it. She said that she kept asking for clarity on what they were doing. Sis, you came on a show. He broke up with you on the show. You continue to mess with him, buy him stuff, and he still doesn't make it official after the show. And you still need clarity, Zena? And you're still telling him not to speak to other women? Zena, at that point, what you should have been doing was removing your focus from him and dating other people, okay? Finding someone who is more aligned with your wants and needs instead of forcing someone else to do those things, right? So she says that the breaking point was when he asked her to dinner for her birthday and then he canceled and he never rescheduled. And it was only then when she started prioritizing herself and healing. And I'm so happy that you came to that realization, Zena. I really am, okay? And JR says that he's still processing things and he still has love for Zena and she's the best girlfriend that he's ever had and she looks absolutely gorgeous today and he sees her on the gram doing her thing and he is so proud of her. But again, he's still processing, which is fine. Word processor, food processor, let him do whatever he needs to do. You just focus on you and on your self-worth and make sure that you never get caught up in any mess like that again. Don't let anyone take you for granted. Don't let anyone take advantage of your love, all right? And this is all if y'all are a real couple, because I still think that y'all not a real couple. But if this is real, make sure that you never give anyone the opportunity to use you like that, Zena, okay? She says that watching back everything made her feel like he never had any intention on marrying her. And I'm like, you think? I agree. I agree with that, okay? She says that the day before they came to the experience, a woman DM'd her with screenshots of her and JR flirting. And Zena says that she asked him, why would he do the same thing to her that his ex-wife did to him? And do you want to hear what JR said? JR says, oh, well, I never cheated on you. Do you see this mess? Do you see this mess? How can he say that with a straight face, fully knowing that flirting can lead to sexting and eventually lead to physically cheating? What he did was already cheating, but he knows what that can lead to. And he was so broken by being cheated on, but he has absolutely no problem engaging in the behavior that he knows can hurt his partner. He doesn't care. Zena says that the door is completely closed on them getting back together because he is a liar and a con artist, and he lied about everything regarding his relationship with Sandy. And she says that she had to watch the show back to see that it was actually more than what he claimed it was. She says that her and Nick also did some catching up, and Nick has reason to believe that JR and Sandy actually slept together. But Sandy jumps on in and she's like, hold on, what you're not gonna do is lie on me and say that I slept with JR. JR and I, we never, ever slept together. Ever. And Nick is like, okay, I'm just saying the passion that I saw between the two of y'all makes me feel like sleeping together would have been the natural progression of what I witnessed when I watched the season back. And he's right. I don't know if JR and Sandy made some kind of pact to say that they didn't sleep together. Maybe they didn't sleep together, all right? But all of the signs point towards two people sleeping together. That's all I'm going to say. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. And they do continue to deny it. And JR claims that he forgot about the third kiss. Boy, you probably did, because y'all did so much kissing and other stuff, you forgot about the third kiss. So I actually believe him when he says that he forgot about the third kiss, because there was much more. And he understands that Zena is doing all of this because she's hurt and upset, and he apologizes for making her feel that way. But Zena claims that she's completely over JR. And then they ask Sandy how she feels, and Sandy starts crying. And she says that she came into this feeling extremely neglected and unseen in her relationship with Nick. And Nick makes this confused face as if he didn't admit to neglecting her throughout their entire relationship all season. What are you confused about, Nikki? But Sandy says that her and JR both have the same love language, a physical touch, so they bonded and explored that, and it was a fun, physical, and flirty relationship, and they did kiss, but that was it. So Nick and Zena both claim that they feel completely detached from JR and Sandy, and I was so happy that Zena called Sandy out for straight up lying during that conversation they had girls' night, saying that there was nothing at all romantic with her and JR, and she was just preparing JR for her relationship with Zena. And Sandy says that she was wrong for doing that, but JR loves you so much, Zena, and you have no idea the entire time that we were together, all we were talking about was you and Nick and how much we loved y'all and wanted to be with y'all. Girl, bye. Y'all had those talks in between all them kisses, right? Is that what y'all did? Yeah. Anyways, Vanessa brings up the hall pass rumor from the boys' night, and she asks who started the rumor. And JR's like, oh, it doesn't matter anymore. And I'm like, oh, that means it was you? Is that what it means? Huh? So Zena asks for a phone, and JR's like, well, what do you need a phone for? What do you need a phone for? But she holds up her thumb because she has one of those QR codes embedded in her nails, and she says that she has text message proof. And JR is so mad. His face, he was so pissed off. But Nick, with his messy behind, he gives Zena his phone, and she says to pull up a folder labeled receipts. And she says that she just wants to clear the air because she believes that it was JR's goal to ruin her trial marriage with Scotty and to get into Scotty's head. And it was a conversation between Zena and JR about Arya being upset that people were using this experience as a hall pass. And JR says, why am I getting dragged into this? That's not what I'm using this for. And Zena says that the text messages prove that Scotty wasn't talking shit about JR. So why did he bring it to Scotty like that on guys' night with such negative energy? First of all, Zena, if you got to explain the receipts, right? If you got to break it down to us, then that means it's not really giving what it's supposed to give. We were supposed to read those receipts, and without any explanation, we should have been shocked, okay? That's what should have happened. I don't know if Zena was trying to have one of those big gotcha moments, but if she was, it definitely fell flat, because even I had to rewind the scene like, did I miss something? Am I missing something? I'm waiting to be shocked. I'm waiting to be gagged. And I was none of those at all. Baby, the way Nick and Vanessa just skirted past those whack-ass text messages to go look at some unseen footage during the season, that confirmed for me that I didn't miss a thing. If you're gonna get a QR code embedded in your nail, make sure that it is for some piping hot receipts, okay? Not this lukewarm stuff that you came with. So anyways, next we see JR telling Sandy that he's attracted to different people and he wants to dibble and dabble in a different relationship. We also see him feeling up on Arya. We see him telling Sandy that he has a high sex drive. He wants to do foot stuff with Arya, and he's telling her that he can get her pregnant in the next 3 weeks. And they also play back the footage of the conversation that he had with Micah, where he clearly says, I'm trying to have fun these next 3 weeks. I have a hall pass, okay? I really wish that they played the clip when he said that this is his one time to have fun with no strings attached with a white girl. They should have played that too. Like I said in my last video, JR, you started that rumor. No one else started it. You started it all by your damn self, okay? And then when we get back to the stage, Sandy and Zena are so shocked. And JR says, oh, well, you really think I came here for a hall pass? You just said it. We just watched you say it, JR, like on camera. Are you okay? Are you okay? And then Zena tells him how gross he is, which he is. And then Sandy starts to cry and she says that he led with sex. And even though it's just jokes, she understands why Nick was uncomfortable with her matching with him because that's all he talks about and that's all everyone else saw. But she says that it was really hurtful to hear JR talk about their experience in the way that he did. And JR says, hold on a second. Hold on, because I don't want it to come off as if I was the only one being flirtatious. And Zena claims, no, it was just you. And even Nick has to jump in and say, no, it was pretty mutual, which it was. So Sandy, while you're on this stage crying now, I have absolutely no idea. Y'all were both lusting after each other and y'all both wanted to have touchy-feely fun. Don't play victim now. Remember what I told y'all about Sandy? Remember I told y'all to watch out for Sandy, okay? She gonna get one of y'all in trouble. She gonna get one of y'all in some serious trouble. She gonna have her little fun, okay? And then she gonna turn it all around on you and start crying and say, oh no, that's not what happened. It was all you, it wasn't me. You've been warned, okay? So JR says that the whole past comments were taken out of context. And if he wanted to, he could have just gotten another girl in LA. He didn't have to come here for a hall pass. Anyway, Zena says that she's so thankful for the experience because it prevented her from making the biggest mistake of her life. And I'm like, Zena, did it though? Did it though? Because even after you left the experience, you were still trying to get with JR, right? So honestly, you should be thanking JR for canceling your birthday dinner because that's what really made it click for you, okay? Tell JR thank you. So next we see Vanessa and Dave. They come out. They've only seen Mariah and Caleb since they've left. And then the hosts show us flashbacks of them throughout the season. And they ask Vanessa why she decided to ultimately leave. And she says that there were a lot of reasons. And she also says that Nick texted her 2 days ago asking her for a bit of resolution because he says that it would help clear things up. Vanessa acknowledges that there was a bond growing during the dating week, but once the trial marriages started, she said that Nick started to show his ass, okay? She said that he was doing things that made her uncomfortable, which didn't make it on the show. She also says that there were times that he pulled her away from mics and cameras to have particular conversations, and it's not her dirty laundry to air, but she understands that everyone has trauma, and Nick isn't acknowledging that he still has a lot of work to do in order to work through his. But she realized that she wouldn't have learned anything by continuing to live with him because she said that just the first day made her feel like she had ridden 17 roller coasters. I said, well, damn. Well, damn. And Sandy jumps in and asks her to elaborate. And she says that it's for Nick to say. She doesn't want to, tell all his business. So Nick admits that he was in a dark state and he started drinking a lot and he was very rude and cold to Vanessa even when she was trying to help him. And while he was talking, Vanessa was rolling her eyes. And I assume that it's because Nick is drastically downplaying what actually happened during filming. And Sandy jumps in and she says, see, that is exactly what I experienced for 3 years with Nick. And I 1000% believe her, okay? Sandy be lying, but since Nick also admitted to not being a great partner, I believe Sandy when she says that he was not the best partner, he neglected her, and it's safe to assume that another layer is added to those issues when you involve alcohol and when you involve self-medicating. Vanessa says that Nick also lied about things that they discussed during the dating process, and he was only homeschooled for 1 semester when he tried to make it seem like he was homeschooled for multiple years like Vanessa was. So Nick apologizes for how he treated Vanessa on that day, and he says that he totally understands why she left, but he doesn't want her to discount the genuine conversations that they had. And he says that he was also there for her when she was bawling her eyes out about Dave. Okay, Nick, so y'all were both there for each other until you started wilding out. So she left. And it seems as if Nick still doesn't understand the gravity of his actions. So we see Scotty jump in and he says that they're shitting on Nick too much. Scotty, how about you shut your ass up? How about you shut your ass up and stay in your little corner? Because honestly, they let you slide. They should have played your scenes back with you raising your voice, grabbing on Zena's arm, telling Arya how much you didn't want to marry her, and they're not even doing it. So shut your ass up. Vanessa then says that she didn't really feel that it was necessary for her to say goodbye to anyone. And David jumps in and he's like, I mean, we only knew these people for like 3 hours. Baby, the way I started laughing because, yeah, they don't owe these people anything, honestly. Dave claims that it was totally Vanessa's decision to leave, and if she wanted to stay, they would have stayed. He says that he wasn't threatened by Nick at all. Now, Dave, you know that's some bullshit. You know that, okay? Because I remember you almost pissing in your pants the night of the cocktail party. But whatever. Sandy reiterates how much they messed up the experience by leaving, but she says that she totally understands why they did that. Nick and Vanessa say that the experience helped them and they've been able to have those very tough conversations. They even went ring shopping, but they're still not engaged. I said, yikes. So they get to Sandy and Nick and they ask him what happened after the proposal. And he claims that he had no intention on even proposing to Sandy in the first place. He says that it just looks like he was going for a ring when he went in his pocket, but he was actually going for a piece of paper, I guess, to read something to her. But he says seeing the look on her face when she thought that he was going for a ring, that did it, and he knew that it was over. He said that even after the proposal, he begged her for another chance, and he promised that he would get help. And Sandy did take him to a recovery center, and after about a week, she went on a trip. She left him. And I'm like, Sandy, did you go to Coachella? Is that what you did? Listen, she says that this process showed her that he isn't the right life partner for her, and vice versa. And he says that he felt abandoned, unloved, and scared. All of the things that I'm sure Sandy felt during those 3 years of y'all's relationship when you neglected her, right? Nick, you were not a good partner. And I don't see it for Sandy at all. But for you to expect for her to show up for you in ways that you have not shown up for her in the relationship, very selfish. Very selfish. And then he says, in addition to the alcohol, he was also self-medicating. Listen, a relationship is the very last thing that Nick needs right now. He needs to get himself together as opposed to putting his anger and aggression on other people because he doesn't know how to work through his feelings. And Sandy says that in addition to Nick showing up at the apartment with JR, he still hasn't been able to let go of her even for the past year, which is interesting because we're going to find out that Nick is in a relationship. So is this news to the new girlfriend? Is she just finding this out on the reunion as well? Anyways, Nick claims that he wishes that he left JR and Sandy alone so that they could experience their trial marriage without any issues. And JR and Sandy claim that they haven't spoken to each other at all and they've made zero contact, okay? But then Zena has to jump in and she's like, what about DMs? What about wishing each other happy holidays? And they were like, oh, yeah, we did that. We did a little bit of that. When I tell you that JR and Sandy are so similar in the sense that you have to ask them specific questions, because if there's a way that they can get around answering truthfully, they will lie every single time. All right? Then they asked Mariah about her saying that Nick wasn't husband material. And he says that he's an artist, so he lives a different type of lifestyle. And he knows for sure that he would not be a good husband to most people, but he will be a phenomenal husband to the right person. And right now he is seeing someone. And he says that he is very excited about that because he can be his authentic self with this person. And I said, child, thoughts and prayers to her. Thoughts and prayers to her, all right? So next, JR says that he's been good. He went to therapy, so he's in a good spot. And he says that he's single right now, so we know what that means. He's just dipping and doing it with everybody, okay? Zena says that she's been dating, but she's not seeing anyone in particular. She's just been prioritizing herself. And she says that she's also frozen her eggs. And she actually thanks JR for coming across the street and helping her with that process and giving her her shots, right? And Jared says, you see, that's why it was really hurtful for you to say that I didn't do anything for you. And Zena, she had nothing to say when he said that. She had no rebuttal at all. And I'm like, Zena, if JR came over and he was helping you with that, that was very kind of him. And I think that that does show that he cares about you. No, he doesn't want to marry you. He doesn't want to be with you. But I definitely think that that shows that he does have a soft place in his heart for you. So JR, good job. That was really kind of you to do. Maybe after some time, these two might be able to be friends. They just have no business being in a romantic relationship, okay? But child, that was the finale and the reunion, y'all. Season 3 is finally a complete wrap. Thank you all so much for spending the season with me again. I appreciate all of you. It has been such a pleasure chatting with y'all in the comments, talking about the show, all of my day ones. all of my new subscribers. I'm so thankful for all of y'all. But for those of you who enjoyed the entire season with me and you still haven't hit subscribe, today is your ultimatum day, okay? Make sure that you hit subscribe. Make sure that you hit that notification bell. And I cannot wait to see you all in my next video. Bye!
Goodbye, Roxiie.